Feeling like you're at a professional crossroads? Let me tell you, you are so not alone. In this explainer, we're going to break down the 5-step mid-career pivot, a clear, practical roadmap for whatever comes next for you.
Let's just start with a number that might actually blow your mind: 72%. Get this, that's how many mid-career professionals are feeling that exact same way you are. So if you're feeling lost, just know you're part of a very, very big club. And that feeling, it usually boils down to this deep, nagging disconnect from your daily work, right? But here's a really crucial shift in how you should think about it. This is not a sign that you've failed. Nope. It's actually a clear signal that you're just ready for the next chapter. I know, making a big change can feel like taking a huge leap into the dark, but it really doesn't have to be that scary. What you need is a map, a strategic blueprint that's designed to minimize the risk and, maximize your odds of success. So let's walk through it together.
Every successful journey starts with knowing where you're headed. So step 1 is all about defining your why. This is your gut-level motivation, the real reason you're even thinking about making a move in the first place. The best way to think about it is this: your core values are your personal compass. Without that compass, you're just wandering. This is what makes sure your next move is actually aligned with who you are, not just what you think you should be doing. So you got to get specific here. What are your top 3 non-negotiable values? Is it making a real impact, having creative autonomy? Maybe it's all about flexibility. Because a pivot will only fail if the new path doesn't serve the real you. So do your homework, dig in and research the culture of any new field to make sure it's a real match for that compass of yours. Okay, once you've figured out your why, it's time for step 2, rebranding your what. This is all about taking your past experience and strategically packaging it for the future you actually want. And remember, you are not starting from scratch here, not even close. You have years of experience, of wins, of skills. Your existing skills are this powerful toolkit that you're going to use to build your new career. You just need to rebrand them for the new gig. So how do you do that? Well, first, do an audit of your biggest wins and accomplishments. Then, you're going to reframe them in universal, jargon-free language. The key here is to translate your old tasks into transferable skills. For instance, client reporting becomes the much more strategic-sounding stakeholder management. See the difference? And hey, if you get stuck, talking to a career counselor or someone who's an expert in that field can be a total game changer. Okay, now we're getting to the practical heart of this whole thing, and we're going to cover 2 steps back to back. First, step 3, which is figuring out the cost and building your buffer. Then we'll get into step 4, which is getting that real-world proof with a little test drive. So, step 3 is all about the safety net. Before you can even think about leaping, you need a solid place to land, and that means creating a buffer of both time and money. It gives you the breathing room to make a change without desperation calling all the shots. The standard recommendation is a solid 9 to 12-month runway. And here's a piece of advice that is so important. Make sure anyone who depends on you is on board with the plan. Getting that buy-in seriously reduces the emotional stress, which is every bit as important as the money in the bank. All right, with your safety net in the works, we move right into step 4, the test drive. This is where the theory gets real. And honestly, it's the fun part. You actually get to try out this new career in a low-stakes way before you go all in. So what does a test drive even look like? Well, it could be taking on a side project, doing some pro bono work, volunteering, or even just shadowing someone for a few days. The goal here is 2 things. 1, to validate that you actually enjoy the work, and 2, to create some tangible proof that you can actually do it. And that brings us to our final and absolutely crucial step. This is the one that connects all the dots to your new reality. Step 5 is all about finding your who. Look, no pivot happens at a vacuum. Your network is the human bridge that will guide you from your old world into the new one. These are the people who are going to offer you the insights, the advice, and the opportunities you just can't find on Google. So here's your mission. Find 10 people on LinkedIn who are currently doing the job you want. Reach out. Now, your goal is not to ask for a job. It's to understand the reality of their day-to-day, the real challenges, the unexpected rewards, the unwritten rules you need to know. And this brings us to what is really the golden rule for this entire step. Let this one sink in. Ask for advice, not a job. When you go to people with genuine curiosity about their experience, they are so much more likely to open up and help you out.
You're building relationships, not just chasing down job leads. So there you have it. That's the complete blueprint for a strategic career pivot, and it's built on 5 pillars. Your why, that's your values. Your what, your rebranded skills. The buffer, your time and money. The test drive, your proof. And finally, your who, your network. Following this map moves you from feeling stuck to being in control to being the author of your own professional story. So the only question left is this one. Looking at your own map, what's the very first small step you're going to take?